Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope all is well with the collective. So today I am back with another channel message from the divine oracle God, whoever y'all connect with out there. Um, I did move, so I'm in a different location. So now I'm able to actually do my readings in the comfort of my own home, which I'm very blessed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very blessed, and I feel like everything has been going great so far, to be quite honest. I think last year was very not even just last year, this entire year and the year before that. I think the last couple of years for me has been a lot and very enlightening in a way. And I had a lot of lessons, a lot of tower moments, a lot of just periods and of where I felt like I just wasn't moving on my journey, and it was just a lot. So I feel like it also was a lot for the collective as well. It was just a lot going on. I think people were trying to understand how can we move forward after a pandemic, or and people were just still trying to get that groove back. But I think it's not going to go back to the new normal or whatever we considered it to be in the past. But I think people are starting to acclimate to a different way of seeing the world, like a different consciousness. Because I feel like there is a massive or collective awakening going on, and only certain people out there who know what I mean. But you know, everybody else can fall in line, or not necessarily fall in line, but follow their own journey to self eventually. Maybe not in this lifetime, maybe in the next. But I can just tell there's a different shift that's been going on. So kind of just want to put that out there. But then I hope that your journey is going well. If y'all follow me from my podcast or you do both, it's like I have not been doing a podcast. I don't know if I'm just being lazy or I just haven't been feeling it, or it's just, different. I feel like it's just maybe I'm moving to a different energetic wavelength or mindset, or like I'm getting some more downloads, and I'm trying to collect it all on an energetic level so I can be prepared for my podcast. So but this is what I'm trying to do. After this, I'm gonna try to record for a podcast and see if I like it or not, if I want to post it, because I did one the other, like, a couple of weeks ago, and then I did one last week. So it's like I made two videos, or podcast videos, but I just never posted them. So they're going to be archived for now, but I'm going to try to do another one after this. But yeah, so let's get into it. I don't want to spend too much time. So I asked, let's see, I put it on a different paper this time. What's changing in 2023 for the collective? And do not look at my handwriting because I write like a child. So y'all only got one hexagram, which is crazy, which is kind of rare, because every time I do a reading for y'all usually get like two, but y'all got one, and it's number 19. And number 19, my birthday is December 19th, so happy birthday to me. Okay, so what is changing for y'all in 2023? And if I'm being honest, I don't do New Year's resolutions. Like, I just can't stand doing them. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna do, which is fine, but it's just like people never do it. So it's just like people come up with these unrealistic expectations to connect with themselves, be a better version of themselves, but they do it in the wrong way, instead of actually giving themselves the grace and the compassion to continue to move forward on their journey without putting more obstacles or restrictions in their way that's not necessary for them. I'm trying to learn how to allow things to unfold naturally, and that's been difficult for me because that requires me to surrender. So whatever I organically come across, and what I feel is right for my body and my mind and my soul, especially if I need to work out or do a different, like, spiritual regimen, whether that's different forms of meditation or anything, it's like I would like to come across that organically instead of forcing myself. So I feel like there's a lot of forcing that goes on at the beginning of the new year, and then people don't necessarily follow through with it because it's like it doesn't resonate with them. So people are not really trying to get to know themselves and see, okay, what resonates with me, and how can I move this forward into the new year, and how can I acclimate to this, and how can I integrate it into my routine that I already have that's been working for me. So yeah. Okay, so let's get started. I don't want this light to glare. It's okay. So y'all got nearing, and I've never pulled this card before, so I'm excited about what it says. The greater spirit draws nearer in an ongoing process of growth as you simultaneously pay patient attention and take responsibility. Harvest happens during the eighth month, but it isn't the end of the process growth. Stay present to the ongoing cycle and do not only focus on results. How does this want to grow? How can you take responsibility for its development? What would your greater self do? So your greater self is your higher self, yourself that's most connected to source. So what really stuck out to me is the greater spirit draws near in an ongoing process of growth. Like how I was just talking about like the new year, how, when you're trying to set forth goals that doesn't necessarily resonate with you, then it leaves out any room for growth. It's not organic. It doesn't come from your inner knowing or your inner self, your intuition, your voice, or whatever you want to call it. So it's like pay patient attention. And I almost stumbled upon like, kind of like pay patient attention. It's like purposely that word was put there. So it's like they want you to be aware, more self-aware. So do more self-reflection. But also when you're doing this reflection, you have to pay attention as to what you're manifesting or what you're trying to bring into the new year. Because when the intent behind it is not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily align with your higher self, then they're going to continuously put obstacles and tower moments in your way to help you pay attention to what is for you and not things that are not meant for you no longer. Because sometimes we like to drag in old things from the old year into the new year, and in reality, it has no space for it. So it's saying patient. Every time I say I'm gonna mess it up. Pay patient attention and take responsibility. So take some accountability and tell yourself like, yeah, I didn't even follow myself last year. I was supposed to do this and this and that. But it's like ask yourself why you didn't do what you wanted to do. Because it really just didn't resonate with you. Sometimes we listen to other people's New Year's resolutions. Sometimes we unconsciously try to compete with other people, or we just try to continuously hold on to an old way of thinking and being. The old version of yourself is still trying to hang on, still trying to fight for a life force, when in reality you're supposed to shed that old you and really walk into that new rebirth phase. But some of y'all are still hanging on to the death phase. So it's like be patient, pay attention, but actually have all your third eye open. Everything, just pay attention. And sometimes, and I feel like it's gonna go over some people's heads, and honestly it may go over my head, because sometimes I'm so stuck in the past or the future, I'm not paying attention to the present. So pay attention to the present. That way you can be more aware and take accountability for what you're doing now, so you won't have to suffer the consequences of the decisions later. And make sure that these decisions that you make the influence doesn't come from the past, but it comes from a present thought. It comes from a mind that's open-minded and free-spirited, and not from something that you have tunnel vision that you can't get past, that you're stuck on. Make sure that your attention has some accountability to it and some self-awareness in it. And it says stay present to the ongoing cycle. And like I just said, like just stay present, be in the present moment. That's the best thing that we can do for ourselves as a collective, to be in the present moment and not allow things to get out of control. Because sometimes when we're not paying attention, things can stray away from us. Sometimes we walk into the wrong path. Sometimes we just do things and we suffer the consequences of it, and then we're shocked in the end because like I didn't get it. Like, why would this happen to me? But it's like in reality, instead of actually being in the present moment and grounding yourself in that time, you allowed your past self to influence the decisions that you made, and that it affected you in the near future. And then it says, oh, my phone. Then it says, do not only focus on results. So it's like where everybody is focusing on the destination, where they're trying to look like, instead of actually focusing on the now and how can we get to those set results, instead of actually I just need to get here. I just need to get to destination C right now, like tomorrow. But it's like you're not taking the time to really see what it actually takes to get to destination C. You just wanted to put your foot on the gas and say, let's just go. But you have to actually pay attention to the things that you're driving past. You have to pay attention to the amount of the gas that you have in your car. You just need to pay attention in general. So Okay, let me. I wasn't expecting that light to turn on my phone. Ooh, I'm sitting crisscross and my legs got a little tired. Okay, so we're gonna go to number 19. I may read a changing line or two depending on if I feel like if that's what's necessary. Okay. Okay, nearing means drawing closer and gazing down over what you approach. There are two strands of meaning here: the approach of a greater spirit or a presence and an ongoing process of growth. And your approach as the one who pays attention and takes responsibility. Like the creative drive of Hexagram 1, this great growing energy comes from the source. Asks for your full participation and seeks to, excuse me, asks for your full participation and seeks to reach fruition and be realized. But a surging growth can be lost far too soon if it is interrupted by arrival. So I think they did that because the arrival in Hexagram 1 is different cards. So they're kind of emphasizing that. But it says, but again, let me reiterate, don't allow what you're trying to accomplish for yourself, what you're trying to manifest, don't allow the destination or the arrival of it really steer you off your path. Sometimes when we only see one thing, we're not paying attention to all the opportunities that are coming our way that can help us get to that destination. So again, pay attention. The 8th month is the month of harvest. If this comes around too soon for what nears to reach full growth, if the situation demands that you produce a tangible result prematurely, then this means misfortune. If the situation demands that you produce a tangible result prematurely, this means it's like some of y'all, to get to the result as fast as you can, y'all, it's like y'all cutting corners. It's like y'all trying to, it's like a get rich quick scheme. It's like and of course people do that all the time, that's fine, but it's like it leads to misfortune. So you won't have it that long. So it's like instead of focus on the destination, focus on how can you get there, and not in the fastest way, but like what does that entail? What type of are you gonna have lessons and things and just opportunities that will come your way that will help you see your destination, help it unfold organically instead of forcing it. If you focus exclusively on results instead of watching patiently over developments, if your expectations are out of touch with the pace of growth, then there's misfortune. So literally just what I said. And sometimes I stop mid-sentence but don't really read what's going on next. So it's it literally aligned with what they said next. Is basically about focusing on the developments and not the actual result itself. So I think in this, and even just being 13 minutes into this actual reading, so the same thing keeps going over and over. It's like pay attention. It's like some opportunity or something is coming y'all way and you're not paying attention. Y'all too focused on the result. So for example, if I'm just focused on being a successful artist and I just need to get there, then I'm not focusing on the opportunities that come my way that actually help me build me up to that point in time. And then it's like I'm missing the opportunities. Then that means that it leads to misfortune. Then that means that that premature decision that I just made is going to affect my future. And again, if I'm doing that, if I'm forcing that, nothing is happening organically. So whatever career or relationship, or whether that's you trying to move, travel, do whatever it is you see yourself doing next year, don't necessarily focus on the result, focus on the development of it. So for example, when you're doing your New Year's resolutions, now you can do it if you want to, I can't stop you. But it's like when you're doing your New Year's resolution, kind of write out what those developments will look like for you. So, and that'll be a great way for you to plan, not necessarily plan out your year and not allow things to happen organically, but it'll allow you to at least stay prepared, because they're not saying don't be prepared. They're just saying stop focusing on the destination and destination only. Be in the present moment and be patient, but focus on the developments as well. So it's like kind of map out, okay, maybe a 5-year plan. I know y'all heard this a lot of times. Or just map out what your year look like. Map out, do a 12-month calendar for yourself and be like, okay, January, I'm going to be working on this and then this, and kind of get descriptive with it. Like what's going to lead up to that point in January, what's going to entail, and kind of leave some room for development, leave some room for you to acclimate, because sometimes things may not go as you planned, and that's fine. Not because you can't control your own decisions, but sometimes you can't control, not even sometimes, all the time, you can't control other people. So there are other key players at hand, so you kind of have to make room for that change to happen. But in the end, it's still great to see what those developments look like for you. Having something to show for a process of growth doesn't mean you arrive at its outcome. Harvest is not the end. And each harvest is gathered and stored. The season cycle growth continues. You need to stay present to its ongoing changes, wherever they might lead. So even if you were to map out a plan or anything, like I just said, like wherever the development may lead, still have room for that. Still have room for it to grow. Because there's nothing wrong with having a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like a plan helps you be organized, but also be prepared that sometimes, for example, if you're planting crops or like strawberries or whatever, be prepared that some weeds may show up here and there, and it may ruin your crops. But it's like, it's not that you can't revive the strawberries or make sure that it's healthy again. You just have to prepare for that. So it's like, and I don't want to keep saying it over and over again, because I was going to come up with another example. But and then let me see. Okay, let's see this one right here, the top one. It says, a noble one has the inner reflective depths of the lake, contained within the protective, accepting qualities of the earth. She is the one with endless capacity to reflect, interact, and explain, to shelter and nurture people as a parent protects a child. She has the strength and maturity, and so naturally she becomes responsible. So it's like, it says so naturally, organically she becomes responsible. So it's like, again, y'all can have like a plan or say, okay, by next year I would love to travel to Europe and do whatever. It's like, so how can that happen for you? Of course, we know that you'll need money, you'll need time, especially if you're working, and depending on who's going to be there, whether that's you, your family, or it just doesn't matter. So it's like, she has the strength and the maturity, so she'll naturally become responsible. So if you have the tenacity and you have that passion and that drive to say, I'm really going, because if you love to travel, I want to travel more, and I'm going to go to Europe next year in October or whatever, or the fall. And it's like, if you have everything organically, the intent behind it, then you will naturally come across that opportunity. So for example, you're not necessarily worried about, you're not too focused on, okay, traveling to Europe in October, like I need to get there. But instead, you say, you keep that in mind and say, you know what, next year in the fall, around October, I want to go to Europe. And then that's just it. Just say it, put it out there. And you can even plan if you want to. You can write a plan and say, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is how much I'll save up. And then organically and naturally, opportunities will start to arise that'll actually help you get to that destination. But it's like, you're paying attention to the now, the present moment. So it's not like you're putting your goals on the back burner, but you're putting it out there for the universe. The universe has to help you help yourself, if that makes sense. You have to help yourself before I don't know. In order for the universe to help you, you have to help yourself, right? So it's like, they want you to become responsible naturally. They want you to come across opportunities naturally. And the reason being is because they're going to help provide those opportunities for you. They're going to put you in certain places with certain people or situations that actually help you get to where you need to go. But in order for you to do that, you have to pay attention, and you also have to be patient. Because sometimes you say, and guess, like, for example, if October feels like a far, we're in December, so it's like almost a year from now, right? And so let's say you still want to travel. It's like you're getting impatient. You're like, damn, I want to travel. I want to hurry up. Like, so when you're putting that type of pressure on yourself and the divine to provide for you, then everything that will go wrong will. So it's like Murphy's Law. So it's like you're forcing it instead of allowing things to happen organically. And also, she is the one with endless capacity to reflect, interact, and explain, to show and nurture people. So it's like you're the parent and you're protecting your manifestations, if that makes any sense. So as the parent, you have to acclimate to becoming a parent, if that makes any sense. So you have to acclimate, you have to baby your manifestations and your goals. You have to care for it. And in order to care for something, you can't just focus on what my child would be like, or what my manifestation would be like 18 years from now. No, you have to be in the moment and actually interact with your manifestations beforehand, before it actually becomes into fruition, so you can actually happen for yourself. And hopefully that makes sense. So essentially, it's like y'all have to interact in the present moment. You have to be within the present moment in order to get what you want in the end. And of course, it's not always the end, because when you travel to Europe, ain't no telling how many opportunities that can come after that. You can get a job, or you can find your husband, or you can actually move there because you love it so much. So it's just like, it happens naturally, and it unfolds without you trying to interfere and intersect everything. I'm gonna see if I can read anything else in here. Okay, hold on. Also, I want to come back to something. It says, how can you take responsibility for its development? What would your greater self do? So it's asking, like, again, like I said before, how can you take responsibility for its development? Like, think about you, the parent, and your manifestation as a child. So it's, how can you take responsibility for your manifestation's development? So if you're forcing something, then that means that the relationship of your child will be forced. Then it won't be organic, then it won't be authentic. Then that means you're not connecting with your child. So of course, AKA your manifestations. But then when you actually take the time to get to know your manifestations, understand what it's teaching you about yourself, and how can you connect with your higher self in order to achieve that manifestation, in order to bring it to fruition. Because sometimes we all, it's like, not just everyone, the collective, myself, it's like we want something so bad for ourselves, but are you actually ready for that? So it's like, think about when y'all making these New Year's resolutions, or whatever you want to call them. It's like, think about that. Think about, are you actually ready for that type of manifestation? Are you ready for it to come into fruition? Because if you're not, and excuse my language, you're going to fuck it up. It may come back around again, because I believe what's meant for you not pass you by, but it may come in a different form, a different body, or whatever. But it's like, think about that. Are you going to be able to take the responsibility for its development? Are you going to be ready when it's time for you to get your ass on that train, or that plane, or for that job, or anything? Like, are you going to be ready for the development? Because the development don't just start when you when you put forth the effort towards that manifestation. The development starts when you actually get it. Because all that was like taking a test. It's like studying for a test, and then when you get to the destination, you're like, okay, today's a test day. It's like the development starts when you sit down and your pen hits that paper and you start circling those answers. That's when that development happens. And the reason being is because it's all that information that you've retained. You're being tested for the knowledge that you acquired, for your understanding of it. So if you can understand something, then you're moving it to the next phase after that development stage, and that's when you gain wisdom. So that, what would your greater self do? So your greater self is the wisdom. The development stage is the understanding, and then the growth stage is the knowing, right? So I know I need to grow, but how can I grow? And then now that I have grown, what have I learned from that? Damn, I'm good. I'm so God. Look, I'm gonna write that down. Look, let me write that down real quick, because that was, you know what? I love these so much. It's like, God, sometimes I forget to write stuff down, but man, that was crazy. So again, the knowing is the growth phase. growth. And then you have your understanding phase, is the development. Because you can't develop something if you don't understand it, right? I mean, of course, some people out there, yeah, you can, blah, blah, but it's like, then what's the purpose behind it if you don't understand it? What's the purpose of having anything or acquiring anything if you don't truly understand what it means to you and how this can affect your life moving forward, and also the people around you? And then wisdom, what was it? Wisdom is the aftermath, or what would your greater self do? So like so it's like all of that. It's like, what would your greater self do? And it's like, you would know that answer though. You're gonna know the answer as to what your greater self will do, because that's that wisdom. So what do you do after something is developed? You continue to move forward. You embrace that manifestation. You actually do something with it. Because right now, think, for example, my knowing in my growth stage is me learning more about art and the techniques that I can actually apply to my canvas that can actually make my story or my vision come out to life. How can I take the responsibility of development? What's my understanding? My understanding is knowing that my art is a connection to me, like it comes from me. That my art is just not a pretty picture, that it actually has a deeper meaning to it for me to connect, not only connect with myself, but for other people to connect with themselves. So it doesn't just come from me to help only me, but it also helps other people. And I'm understanding that my gift is not just for me, it's not for selfish reason, but it's to help the cause of humanity, for them to develop and expand their consciousness and connect with themselves on a deeper level. And then what will my greater self do? What wisdom will I get from that? The wisdom is, to be honest, I don't know yet. And the reason being, because I'm still in that growth and development stage. Sometimes I go back and forth, and that's okay, because you will do that a lot. Because wisdom, I'm not saying it takes forever to acquire, but when you truly get past that development stage, you have those aha moments, and then that's when that wisdom kicks in. And the wisdom acquires from every milestone that you have. And of course, milestones don't have to have time on your journey, but it's like when you truly understand what a lesson or a person, place, or thing was teaching you about yourself, that's when you actually acquire that wisdom from it, because you're in those development stages. And sometimes in the development stage, you can't necessarily see the big picture, but when you get to your greater self can see the big picture. You can understand, like, oh, that's what it was teaching me. It was teaching me about how to love myself. It was teaching me that I need to put up more boundaries and to speak up for myself a lot more, but also to come out with my artwork and connect with my art in a way that allows other people to connect with me and themselves, essentially. So that's kind of what I want to say about that one. I love that. I love how I made that connection, So we got nurturing. So nurturing next. So of course, I asked them what are you bringing into the new year? So even without looking at the paragraph, it's like nurturing. It's like they're wanting y'all to nurture your mind, body, and soul. Like whether that's through working out, eating better, meditating more, it's like nurture yourself. There are so many ways you can nurture yourself. And you know how you are nurturing yourself when you feel good. And it's more of an internal feeling than a physical feeling, if that makes sense. And of course you can have both, but on the inside, that's when your intuition, your higher self, your inner child, your shadow, y'all are all connected. The ecosystem is coinciding with her, it's all running smoothly. And I always like to say that if your inner child is not happy, the rest of you is not happy. Because what you won't do for one, you're not going to do for all of them. So in order to nurture your inner child, your higher self, you have to nurture every aspect of yourself. Okay. Sometimes I feel like I'll be young when I'll be reading. Okay. Trying to find this page. Okay, nurturing. Okay. And also think about it. When I look at this, I think of like Save Me, right? Like it's like a coral reef, but like to me personally, it's not necessarily like a cross, but it's like, you know, that lifeline, right? So it's like nurturing, it's like you're nurturing your life force, your every part of your being. Like it needs this in order to maintain itself, in order to continue to move on and see the fruition of your manifestations. Because if you're not nurturing yourself, you're not nurturing your manifestations. How can you manifest something from a low vibrational place? Huh? Okay. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get what you want, and you're not going to be happy when that manifestations come to the door, and you're like, this is not what I ordered, but this is what you needed. Because you needed to see that for yourself. You needed that manifestation that you didn't like, that lesson that you made you uncomfortable, in order for it to trigger something in you and say, okay, I have not been doing this for myself. Where have I not been nurturing myself? And how can I move forward and continue to nurture myself in that space? To create that safe space for me to sit and stop and say, okay, I have not been taking care of myself. I've been putting people before myself. So it takes a lot of sacrifice to do that, in order to see that, and a lot of self-awareness, and it's very difficult. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but it's rewarding at the end of the day. So remember that when y'all are trying to manifest something, remember the intent behind it, because the intent transforms. The attention will get that ball rolling, right? The intention energizes, and I got this from the 12 spiritual laws. I fucking love that. I love that sentence. It says the attention energizes, and it's by Deep Chopra. I can't remember her name, but y'all know the book I'm talking about. I'll probably post it in the description. But the attention energizes, and the intent transforms. So your intention will transforms that manifestation that you're trying to bring into the new year for yourself. So again, it's like pay attention because something is near, but also nurture yourself in the process. And again, in that development stage, because y'all are in the development stage. So what's next is coming, that wisdom behind it. Oh. Okay, hold on. Okay, it says if coral has appeared in your cards today, you are being asked to look at the idea of nurturing. It may be time to nurture yourself or another. If you refuse to be nurtured, it may be time to drop that superhuman attitude before you get sick. Coral tells us that our bodies have needs too. Pay attention. Look, didn't that other card say pay attention? I remember I told y'all pay patient attention. Pay attention and be good to your body. It's like they want y'all, it's like in this new year, drop the whole new year, new me, blah, blah, blah. Because you know why? Because it has no meaning behind it no more, because everybody and their mama be saying it. So pay patient attention to your manifestations, but also your physical human. Wait, hold on. And also pay attention to your human vehicle. I always call it a human vehicle, or your temple, your body, whatever you want to call it. Remember, you are a soul. You don't have a soul. You are a soul having a human experience. So what they want to you to do is like you need to take care of your body, so your body can start connected with your soul's mind. Remember, your soul's mind and your ego's mind are two different things. Oh, my nose. Coral also speaks of the planetary family. If you feel lonely or alone, it may be time to have a reunion with the other creatures that share the earth with you. So to me, this really, this resonates with like Mother Nature, Earth, or even your physical family. It's like it's time to have a reunion. So go outside. And today I really want to go outside, but it was raining all day. So, yeah, couldn't do that. But however you connect with Gaia, try to find ways to connect with her more. Even on the days that you're having it's a bad weather day, you can't go outside. Try to connect with Gaia a lot more, because again, nature is our best friend. She wants to help us. She wants to help us transmute our energy into something positive. So, listen to all of your relations. Cut the "I'm the only one" refrain out of your thoughts. Coral always tells us to listen to our feelings. Again, pay attention to your feelings. If you have been ignoring how you feel around certain people or how your body feels, the coral is assisting that you reconnect to those feelings. Remember, to feel is to heal. So it's like, sometimes your body will let you know something is not right before your mind actually says something. Especially if your mind is filled with a whole bunch of junk thoughts and things that don't resonate with you. Your body's like, okay, I need to do this on my brain's behalf and saying, look, I'm feeling sick. I don't like this. You need to purge, do something, work out, take some medicine, or even just take some rest. Because good rest will really help y'all. And people been telling me to rest. And it's like I haven't really been listening. Like I go to sleep, but it's like it's not actual rest. So it's like even when I'm like relaxing, I'm not resting, if that makes sense. So the only time you don't really have to go to actual sleep in order to rest, right? So think about that. And to feel is to heal. And all nurturing comes from the ability to pay attention to our needs and our feelings. If we do not know what we need, how can we nurture ourselves? As Earth Mother supplies many teachers who can aid in discovering answers to these questions, Mother Earth can only supply comfort and nurturing if we are willing to listen. So it's like if you are willing to listen to Gaia, willing to listen to her advice, her wisdom, or anything that she's trying to give to you in order to help you on your journey, like take it. And this may come when you're taking a walk or on a bike ride or even just hugging a tree or whatever it is that you do. It's like it'll come to you organically and you won't even question it. You know? So, and let me just cut the deck for y'all. Look, it said healing. So what's coming for y'all next year is healing. Remember, healing is a part of the development process. You go from healing to living. And I don't want to say healed because sometimes you don't completely heal from something. It's like I like to say, people, you're not damaged, you're wounded. And a wound heals, but it's not fully healed, if that makes any sense. You can actually damage an actual closed wound. If that resonates with anybody out there, it's like I don't want to what am I saying? I don't really want to discourage y'all from this journey. I just want y'all to be realistic, because I try to be realistic with myself all the time. It's like you're not going to be 100% healed in this life. The reason being because you're always going to come across people, situations, circumstances that will trigger a certain emotion or something within your subconscious that you did not know that was there. And that is okay, because it's supposed to do that for a reason. That's why I say you can never be 100% healed. But even then, it's like you can still live your life, have fun, and love people and connect with yourself and also the world around you in a new, profound way. So again, don't let that deter you from healing or connecting with yourself or starting your spiritual journey or whatever journey that you like to call it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And again, take what resonates and leave the rest. If this did not resonate with you, that is completely fine. My feelings are not hurt. But if you feel like this message can resonate with anybody out there, then please don't forget to share this video with them. What I wanted to do is continue to be more consistent with putting out videos and podcasts, because I kind of stepped off a little bit, but honestly for a reason. I think at that moment in time, I was in the growth phase, right? I went back and forth from developing and growing, and I needed to start over and really understand as to why I started this podcast and my YouTube channel and there was a reason for that. My intent behind that began to be tarnished by my own thoughts, right? So it's like I really wanted to step away from it, and now I'm trying to come back to it with a new, refreshed mindset. Okay, I'm trying to be back on here next weekend. Maybe I can give y'all a little reading around my birthday, maybe. And again, it's on the 19th, so happy birthday to me. But I will talk to y'all later, and I hope y'all have a great day. Stay safe out there. Bye.